Okay, hi friends. We're gonna make a little happy art with hearts. All you need is washable markers, not permanent, not dry erase. They have to be washable markers. You need a piece of paper and you need a cup of water. Bonus, if you have a paintbrush, you're pretty lucky. You need to tell somebody at your house thank you for buying you nice stuff. But if you don't have a paintbrush, that's okay. We can just use our finger or a Q-tip. You know those things that you use to clean out your ears? You can use one of those too. Okay, so this is done in stages, steps. So the first step is you get two colors and you draw hearts on your paper. What letter is that? Yep, V. What letter is that? M. Good. So you're just going to draw a V and an M and connect it together. Now once you have your 4 or 5, I could have put one more right there, hearts on your paper with your paintbrush. Actually, let me show you how to use the finger first. Move my water out of the way. You're going to dip your finger in the water and you're going to trace over the marker that you just did. I did not do this, friends. No, you got to trace over with a wet finger the heart that you just drew. Now, if you have a paintbrush or a Q-tip, just paint over the heart that you just drew. Okay, now that is the first color. Remember, we have to do 2 colors. So I'm going to get my next color. I'm going to draw some more hearts, trying not to make them touch on this first layer. You can draw some big, you can draw some small. Miss Cunningham, I know how to draw hearts way more different than that. Well, good. You draw it your own way. I draw it like this because this is the way I teach kindergartners how to make a heart. And guess what? It turns out perfect every time. Okay, so you just paint over your heart that you just drew. It's okay if that happens. And then step 1, layer 1 is finished. So I'm going to move this out of the way and I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's done using different colors. I did 3 colors on here. So this is step 1, phase 1 of our heart art. Okay. Now I'm ready for step 2 because this is all dry. So I take another color and I draw more hearts right over what I already did because it's like totally dry. And then I don't have any red on this one. I'm going to do some more red. You can just draw right over the hearts that are there because they're dry. Step 1 has to be dry before you start step 2. And then you just trace over what you've done. This is going to be so pretty. And guess what? There is a special day coming up called Mother's Day. And today, or this week, is Assistant Principal Week. So that's pretty cool. Okay, step 2 is dry. Let's go on to step 3. What are we going to do for step 3? We're going to draw more hearts. Like so many more. All over the place. Isn't this beautiful? And let me do orange because I don't have any orange on here. All right, and then you trace over your hearts with your wet finger or wet paintbrush. And they all spread out so pretty. Okay, now that this is done, ta-da, it's all dry. Remember how I was talking about Mother's Day or Assistant Principal Day or week? We can add a few little extra touches to our happy art hearts. I'm drawing a bunch of little tiny hearts filling up the spaces, and I'm not going to use the water on these. This just gives it a little pop where our white areas are. We're going to leave these as hearts so that we can kind of tell when we look at it, then our eyes are like, oh, those are hearts. And I'm going to do one more color. Okay, after you have your extra little hearts on there, it can be done. Or if you want to surprise someone, this is a Sharpie, but if you don't have a Sharpie, you can just use a regular black washable marker. If you don't have a black, you could use a pencil or you could use a pen. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to surprise my mom and I'm going to mail her this because my mom lives a long way away. I don't live with my mom like a lot of you guys do. So I'm going to make her an I love you picture. You don't have to draw your letters like Miss Cunningham. You draw it the way you want to draw it because your mom or grandma, if I had a grandma that was living, I would mail this to her, but I don't. Or you know what? If you don't want to give this to your mom or your grandma, you know what you could do? You could draw it. You could take a picture of it with your smiling face holding it up, and you could put it on, your teams because all of our assistant principals are on teams and they see it. So that would be a nice surprise for them. You don't have to write I love you. Remember, you could leave it however you want. But this is Miss Cunningham's finished product, and I think my mom will really, really like it. I'm going to finish coloring in these letters, and then I'll be all done.